What's going on, guys? We'll try to give a little better explanation of what was happening with this C5. So, in case any of you guys out there are interested in a more in-depth dive into what we were dealing with, 1120, 1220, and 1516. This is a throttle positioning sensor that was sold to us and was supposed to be for a Corvette at a local parts house. This is actually the second one. The first one that I took off this car that somebody else put on it was exactly like this one. You can see inside, there's guts right there. Let me see, I'm one-handed here. I don't know if I can pull this out. Right here's a little sweeps on it and stuff. This one's bent. I tore it apart on purpose because I wanted to see what was going on inside this thing. Well, the way it fits on that C5, if you're looking at it sideways, it fits like this. All right. Well, when I took the old one off, this center was broken out of it, and I thought it was maybe because of the person, whoever put it on there wrong and broke it. Well, that's not the case. The case is, you see the way these things are designed inside. You can see where the travel is. It's on the wrong side. It looks exactly the same on the outside, but the guts are different. When I put this one on that C5, it wanted to be up here, right? And you had to force it down to get it where the throttle plate is at rest. And I didn't think that was right. I couldn't find any information anywhere of, exactly how it works. I've never worked on an LS motor, so in my mind, it didn't seem right. Yeah, I shouldn't have to force this thing down for the screws to line up with the throttle plate at rest. Because when you turn the switch on that car, that throttle blade does a self-check, and it actually goes back this way and then back up to idle. And that's what was breaking the centers out of these things. When you put one of these on C5, it should slide right on that shaft with the holes already lined up. You shouldn't have to force it nowhere. And, I was having, trouble finding out that little tidbit of information. There's not really, maybe I didn't look in the right spots, but so anyway, the travel's completely backwards on this one, and that's why it was breaking these. And that's one of the problems that this car had. I can't sit here and tell you exactly what solved these issues besides two of the channels being burned out in the accelerator positioning sensor. That was a part of it. It's twofold. And then these that were sold as for a Corvette, which dream on. If you guys are working on a vet, buy from a vet parts supplier. Even if the people at the parts houses only know what their computer tells them. And apparently, two of these, their computers told them it fit a Corvette. Well, it might fit with a 5-pound hammer, but that's the only way it's going to fit. So anyway, that was the biggest issue. And then when we ordered the one throttle positioning sensor from the Corvette parts supplier, it slid right on, just perfect as you please. All you got to do is put the bolts in it and tighten it down. There's no adjustments. My ZR1, my 1990 ZR1, you have to adjust it. You have to set it with the ohm meter. It has slots. Instead of having the round holes up here, it has little slots in it. And you have to get it at a certain amount of resistance at idle. And then, so it has some adjustment on it. This one does not. It's just plug and play. But this is one of the biggest issues, I think, because I put the original TAC module back on the car, the one that they had ripped the top off of, because I checked it. You can check these parts. They have to be hooked up when you check them. And get your wiring diagram and get your shop manual, and it'll tell you, your 5-volt reference, and your signals and and data series and all that stuff. It'll tell you what each wire does, and you can check these parts on the car. And so that's what I did with the TAC module, and I didn't see anything wrong with it, so I just put the top back on it, stuck it on the car, and after I get the accelerator positioning pedal sensor in, and then this was the missing piece, with them selling us the wrong ones that would break when they did the self-check. But also too, if you try to force these things on, goes on like this is the way it wants to fit on the shaft, and then you have to force it forward, so you're already putting it in a bind, and then when it does the self-check, it breaks the centers out of them. So but just make sure that the ones that you buy are for a C5 Corvette, you know, and buy from you're gonna have to pay the Corvette tax, you know. It's just the way it is. And don't go to, you know, to the local parts house. I didn't have any luck. This is actually 3 that we bought. He took the last one back because I slid it on the shaft and it's up here like this, and I told him, I said, this ain't it, man, it's not going to work, you know. So we kept running into the same issue. So got the car together, drove it tonight, drove it about 40 miles or so, I don't know for sure, but it's running good, man, and I like it. That little C5 will scoot, man. That thing will get down, and it drives good, it rides good. It's got a bunch of rattles in it, and I don't know if that's all C5s or not, but this one, you know, of course this one's had a bit of a rough life, I think, but it's nothing that's not fixable. You know, some of the top was rattling, and some of the plastic on the dash, and, you know, and that sort of stuff. But I like driving it, man. The thing handles good, drives good. The transmission shifts like butter. It's automatic. And the engine, man, that LS1 runs good, man. I like that engine. It runs real good. And so I just wanted to try to give a little bit more in-depth explanation about what was going on with this car up to this point. And I really think between the accelerator positioning sensor and the wrong throttle positioning sensor was the issues that car was having. You know, I don't know the history of it, but I know when I got the car, that's where the problem started. But as soon as I put the right throttle positioning sensor on that engine, I turned the switch, hooked the battery back up, turned the switch on, and the reduced engine power was gone. So it disappeared that quick. And I couldn't even erase it before. It wouldn't, even the computer, the car computer wouldn't even let me erase it. You know, as soon as I turned the switch on, it was already there. So, but that's just a little tidbit, you know. Like I said, when you guys get the right throttle positioning sensor for these C5s or LS1, it should slide right on that shaft with the shaft at rest. You know, it should slide right up on there, and the bolt should line right up. You shouldn't have to do anything. So just a little bit better explanation. Anyhow, all right, enjoyed the C5. Had fun driving it.